I was gonna make a joke about where Ginro was hiding that pineapple, as we know the dress didn't have pockets, but now at this point I feel like it'd be distasteful, but in his memory, I'm gonna do it anyway. I feel like he would want me to. Where the hell did he hide that pineapple full of knockout juice? Because the more I look at that character design, the more I wonder where the hell he was storing it. But this was an episode I wasn't expecting, because Ginro should be alive unless they killed him off screen before the petrification fully took over, which seems unlikely. But that was an emotional roller coaster, because not only do we seemingly lose our best fighter from being able to fight going forward unless they can get her statue and revive her next, we also have a moment that's truly defining for a character who's been such a scaredy cat, such a leave it to other people. Look in this episode as he's running, basically Operation Leave It to Someone Else. This is a character who's had moments of maturity and definitely has grown since the intro. But at the end of the day, you don't really look at Ginro as the one who's going to be so selfless or not beg for his life or something. But the fact that as he's dying after getting 4 fatal wounds, all he can do is say, "The master is a statue," because that information changes the course of where we go with this. And honestly, man, had they actually committed to killing him off, I would have been okay with it, even though it was heartbreaking, just because it's such a good character moment. But the fact that he did freeze up there, I mean, hopefully that spells good things. I mean, it's just a little worrisome because they are at the top, wind blowing, the statue crumbles. I don't know, there's a lot of ways it could go wrong, but hopefully it works out. And as Senku says, as long as it's science-based, they can fight and defeat it. And we now know that this Medusa, this, what I thought was a gem being thrown up there, this metal object is very clearly science-based. So at least they do have a fighting chance. Now, full live reaction if you want to see me not really know what's happening at first and then just being like, oh wait, it is. It's over there if you're interested over on my Patreon, full live reaction. It's, Dr. Stone's good, man. Dr. Stone is very, very good. And I really, really enjoyed how hard they bait you with this episode. Because what's interesting is bringing back our master craftsmen, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm thinking they're going to build scuba tanks because all of the pieces are down below. Now, I did mention it last week that Taiju does have really good lung capacity, so in theory, he could still keep diving and getting things up, but as he even says in this episode, it'd be like 300 trips. Well, that was before he realizes he could use a boat to help transport things back. But the idea that, no, immediately, it's like we're trying to build the drone, because Taiju, lungs of steel, iron lungs, he can deal with this, get all the people back, but I mean, unfortunately, you can't just bring them all back right away. Like, it takes a bit to get more of the revival juice and everything like that. And you just have a lot of fun, you have a lot of comfy moments, and just building into where they want to go. I wasn't sure what they wanted to do with the master reveal. At first, I mean, you hear the female voice, I didn't realize that was Ginro. I was like, oh shit, is it gonna be some hot anime babe up there and it's gonna fluster him out? No, it's this man pretending like there is someone still alive and kicking. And it's interesting because the character who kind of like showed up later into the first core, who were like, where did he come from? Was he always there? What's going on? Turns out probably is the son of the actual leader of this village. So most likely, Big Boy, with his lanky ass arms and horror-like aesthetic, did something to the original and basically took over control and has been lying to the people of the village this whole time, basically acting as the right-hand man. I'm the voice, he doesn't want to talk with you, you listen to me, because otherwise they probably follow the bloodline, which most likely means he's probably going to take over, like, hey, like father, like son, most likely, I don't know. But it's troublesome, because on one hand, we got our craftsman back who can make dreams into reality. On the other hand, we just lost our best fighter. Now, here's the thing. If this was in the water or something, we could retrieve her. She could be the next one we bring back. Unfortunately, it's like she's at the top of like anyone would see it coming. Now, granted, they're trying to build drones, but I mean, that's a pretty heavy thing for a drone to carry, so I doubt it's going to happen. But I like the emotional implications of what this will do, and the fact that, finally getting a proper look at what the Medusa is, what this stone is doing. Turns out it's a piece of technology. It looks like metal bands and just, the carvings, the technology, how is it made? We have no idea. But I do think at the very least it confirms it's not some godlike object or something. It does seem like it's science-based, especially based on how Koku was looking at it. And as she says with her sight, you know, it's something that she recognizes that, yes, we can fight this because Senku says if it's science-based, it is defeatable, and that's clearly what it is. But it was a roller coaster because it's interesting because I think this episode represents both sides of Dr. Stone. The funny science-based adventure and the absolute gut punch emotional whiplash. And I mean, the fact that literally you're just, it feels so safe. Like, Koku's not even worried about sending Ginro up there. You got the pineapple. You're good, bro. Like, just go up there. And at first, like, the way he kind of approaches Ginro, being like, oh, you know, you're kind of a little scaredy cat. You know, it doesn't feel harmful. It just feels weird. And then it just escalates so quickly. I will say, though, I'm not really surprised that apparently this 9-foot-tall lanky bastard only gets delirious for like 30 seconds from the pineapple bomb. But I mean, at the same time, I don't know. Like, I was in disbelief, and I actually was kind of building into believing that they're going to kill him off, mainly because, like, I didn't see how they were going to turn him to stone. Like, that was the one way. If they petrify him, then he'll heal, right? I mean, just look at our boy's back, right? Of course, they make the joke about the poop, but at the same time, you know, the fact that when he comes to, his arthritis and all of his aches and pains are gone because that's what this does, right? And I didn't even, like, cross my mind that them jumping to the highest point, basically trying to expose secrets, would get them petrified, because it's not like you can stab them from down there. The only way you could do it is by tossing it up there and obviously blasting them away, while also telling your villagers not to look because you don't want them to know the secret of what's truly going on. I mean, this is only the second episode of Core 2. We have still quite a bit left to go, and the way they were building into this episode, I was kind of under the assumption we're going to have something similar to Stone Wars, right? Okay, we got our craftsmen back, we can start building things, we'll start getting more of the revival juice, and we'll start getting more and more people up, and we'll have something maybe similar to that of Season 2. And instead, they went in a direction that makes it say, like, we don't have time to build an army. We don't have time to do a whole lot. We need to build whatever it is we're going to build and use the people we currently have, maybe bring 1 or 2 back if we're lucky, and we gotta take the fight to them. And I think the only way I see this completely going okay is if you turn the girl who's turning people into stone on your side, which does feel like she has the most potential. I think I remember saying that in Core 1's videos, that I was like, if any of the like main people, the head honchos or the head people in charge of fighting or leading, that woman kind of felt like the one who might turn sides a little more than others, but at the same time, it's not a guaranteed bet either. But this was a hell of an episode. Definitely thinking about, now granted, I am a little fuzzy on Core 1, like I don't remember every single episode 100%, but I do remember key episodes, and I definitely think this is one of those episodes that lives up to that quality of like, this is some of the best. Like if you're making a top 10 Dr. Stone episodes list, you gotta put an episode like this up in there, because you turn a character who truly was, you know, insufferable, cowardly, maybe funny at times, but not a character you thought was bold and brave. And the fact that on his deathbed, he didn't think of trying to beg or plead, but to just give that information. It's hard not to look at the journey, and this is not the first time. He's had plenty of moments of showing growth, but this is the biggest moment for a character like Ginro. Like, the only way it would have been more sad is if Kinro was there as well, but goddamn, I don't think I would have been able to handle that. But let me know what you thought of this episode, and where do you think we're gonna go now that we have a better idea of what it is we're going up against? Let me know down in those comment section. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring the bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel. And like I mentioned, we have a full live reaction over on my Patreon if you would like to see that, and hey, while you're there, you also get a video shout out. So today we have Shadow Cyber Demon, Benjamin Margolis, Wujan, Brandon Logren, Aruni Gurtias, and Power 9987. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.